Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. The Honourable Prime Minister, Deputy Prime Ministers, Cabinet Ministers, Honourable Leader of the Opposition, fellow Members of Parliament, ladies and gentlemen, I warmly greet you again after our brief morning tea. Madam Deputy Speaker, I rise to inform this August House of a significant milestone in Fiji's history, the 150th anniversary of the Fiji Corrections Service, which was commemorated last week. This historic celebration marks not only a century and a half of institutional endurance, but also of transformation from colonial-era prison system focused on punishment to a modern correctional service that now champions rehabilitation, restoration, reintegration. The anniversary provided a moment of reflection, gratitude, and renewed purpose. It was an opportunity to honor those who have served with courage and conviction, and to recognize the continuing evolution of Fiji Correctional Service as a cornerstone of Fiji's justice system. Madam Deputy Speaker, the Fiji Correctional Service traced its roots to the year 1875. When the early prison system was formally separated from the police under the 1884 Ordinance, back then, the first prison was established beside Nasoba Police Station in the area known as Nasese, a name derived from the Itoke word sese, meaning lost. The symbolism is profound. Fiji Correctional Service has, from the very beginning, stood at the crossroad between loss and restoration, guiding those who have lost their way back towards the path of redemption. In later years, the prison relocated to Corvo near St. Giles Psychiatric Hospital and Cemetery, areas once referred to in colonial times as places for mad, bad, and dead. But even there, the seeds of transformation were sown. The introduction of the Prisons Ordinance Cap 86 on 10 July 1970 marked a pivotal shift towards modern correctional standards and humane treatment of inmates. Over the past 150 years, the Fiji Correctional Service has weathered many challenges and defining moments. We recall the riots of 1968, the burning of the super prison in 1979, and the uprising at Atambua later the same year. We also remember the May 2000 crisis, when prisoners overpowered officers in Mboro and hostages were taken in Suva. These events, while painful, became a catalyst for reform, innovation, and strength. They shaped the modern correction service we know today, an institution built on resilience, courage, and lessons learned through adversity. Madam Deputy Speaker, we pay tribute to the men and women who saved during these difficult times, notably Mr. Sarushi Ngauna, who at only 19 years of age bravely stood his ground during the 1979 Suva prison riot, exemplifying courage and loyalty to duty. Likewise, Mr. Liano Bueti's experience during the same incident inspired the creation of the Emergency Control Unit, or what is now commonly called ECU, a critical component of Fiji Correctional Service that ensures safety and stability of our correctional institutions today. I also pay tribute to the former Commissioner, Honorable Naibul Rua and Honorable Vasu, who are part of this transformation and now are seated in this August House. During the week-long celebration, the Fiji Correctional Service also honored ex-servicemen whose bravery and leadership during the 2000 Namboro incident remain etched in our national memory. Their stories behind us remind us that the foundation of today's Fiji Correctional Service were built on sacrifice, commitment, and faith in the principle of justice. The world today presents new challenges, Madam Deputy Speaker. Offenders are younger. The influence of drugs and mental health issues is greater. And the rehabilitation needs of inmates are far more complex. Fiji Correction Service has recognized that the purpose of correction is not only to secure, but to heal. The institution is shifting its focus from incarceration to rehabilitation and regeneration. Rehabilitation is about equipping inmates with education, vocational training, psychological and spiritual support so that they can lead productive lives upon release. Reintegration, however, is the greatest test. It calls for partnership across government, especially for NGOs, churches, the private sector, the communities to help ex-offenders reintegrate into society with dignity. Madam Deputy Speaker, I take a moment to cite one good example. Waione Temu was pardoned by the Mercy Commission in 2023. He was convicted soon after he turned 18, so he became an adult. Almost 22 years he was in prison. He was a budding rugby player. Through the rehabilitation, he kept to his dream. Upon his release, this year created a marked history for the Kandavu Provincial Council and for Kandavu Island, being captain of the Kandavu team and winning the competition. I also call on civil societies. A subject of discussion last year, of our acceptance. And let us remind what Honorable Prime Minister doctored. Let love shine. Matthew 18:21-22. Then Peter came up and said to him, Jesus, Lord, how often will my brother sin against me and I forgive him? As many as 7 times? Jesus said to him, I do not say to you 7 times, but 77 times. Matthew 6:14-15. For if you forgive others their trespasses, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. But if you do not forgive their trespasses, neither will your Father forgive your trespasses. Our coalition government is also drafting a new legislation following cabinet endorsement in June 2025. The new proposed draft of the Criminal Records Bill will provide opportunities to facilitate reform and reintegration of ex-inmates who fulfill the criteria agreed upon during consultation. The bill will be an opportunity to make good on forgiveness for former inmates. Once they have served more than 10 years, some 20, some 30 years, they cannot go overseas. We cannot look at the indiscretion when they were 18, when they are 19, they're 20. The doctrine of love is paramount in this case. Additionally, the ongoing rehabilitation services provided through Yellow Ribbon Project, a national movement that encourages all Fijians to give ex-offenders a second chance. Choose inclusion over exclusion and compassion over condemnation. This was a project that was introduced by Honorable Naibal Dua, the Minister for Policing. The 150th anniversary celebration is not only a time to look back, but also to look forward with hope. It reminds us that justice is not solely about punishment, but it's also about restoration, redemption, and renewal. The theme of the week called upon every officer and every Fijian to remember the humanity they bind us all. Hebrews 13:3. Remember them that are in bonds, as bound with them, and them which suffer adversity, as being yourselves also in the body. These words capture the heart of what Fiji Corrections Service stands for: compassion, empathy, and the shared duty to restore dignity where it was lost. Madam Deputy Speaker, as the line minister, I take this time to thank the Fiji Corrections Service staff for their unwavering commitment to service, professionalism, and humanity in carrying out their duties. Their work is sacred. Every day they deal with some of the society's most difficult realities. Yet they do so with compassion, courage, and sense of moral duty. For 150 years, the Fiji Corrections Service endured trials, celebrated triumphs, and welcomed transformation. As we look ahead to the next 150 years, may this institution continue to embody compassion, professionalism, and unity in its mission to build a safer, stronger, and more just communities for all Fijians. Pinagwali, Madam Deputy Speaker.